I'm Ang Librarian, and I've just finished reading Joseph Fink and Jeffery Cranor's Welcome to Night Vale. Night Vale, a town filled with intrigue, a town crammed with secrets. Shh. It's got danger, it's got suspense, it's got mystery, it's got words printed on page after page of paper. Yep, it's a book, alright. Welcome to Night Vale is also a freaking sweet podcast which you should go check out right this instant. Seriously, stop watching me and go listen to them. I mean, it's no skin off my nose. I mean, it's not going to upset me that I then have -1 viewers. I mean, it's not like you leaving right now, abandoning me to go listen to their podcast is going to send me on an ever downward spiral into the depths of depression. You should go and watch and listen to them now. Go on.
I'm so alone. I mean, it's so pointless. Why do I even bother existing? Maybe if I just hear long enough, Freddy Krueger's hand will come through and rip me into my bed, killing me in a spectacular geyser of blood. Or I'll turn into a young teenage Johnny Depp. Either way, I'll be happier than I am now.
I am a huge fan of this podcast, and if anyone else is, you should definitely read this book. And if you know what Night Vale is, then it should come as no surprise to you that this book is just as surreal and head-scratchingly nonsensical as the podcast. When pawn shop owner Jackie, who's been 19 for decades, receives a weird piece of paper which simply says King City, she finds that she can't put it down. Literally. Well, she can put it down and she can rip it up and she can burn it and she can try and give it away, but the minute she does, it pops right back in her hands in pristine condition. Then you've got Diane, who works in an office where no one knows what it is that they actually do there, and she's starting to fret a little bit because her son Josh, who can change his form at any point willy-nilly into whatever he wants, started to ask questions about his absent father. Both Jackie and Diane find themselves unable to carry on with their normal lives. Their usual comfortable routines have been kicked off kilter with this whole King City thing, and so starts a journey of, do you know what? Fuck this book! That's right, you heard me, fuck it! Literally fuck it! Cut a hole in it and fuck it because it's just that good! Hang on a minute, that's not what I meant at all. I meant fuck it as in burn it, as in take it to the top of the highest mountain you can find, not that I'd ever publicly acknowledge that mountains exist, and then disembowel it. Can you disembowel a book? And use its pages to wipe your ass with after you've had a particularly spicy curry. But Craig, why so much anger? You love the podcast, surely you love the book. Well, I did, for a short period of time. That was until it badmouthed librarians. That's right, this book. It's a book. I knew that. This book had the audacity to besmirch librarians. How very dare you. I'll have you know that not all librarians are blood-crazed killers. Not all of us lurk in the shadows of the geography section, waiting for ne'er-do-wells to take a seat at the reading desk so that we can pounce and tear them limb from limb. I mean, come on, think about it. The books would get all messy. Librarians are a diversified and colourful race of people. It's an Anglo-Librarian fact that librarians are indeed a race, and as they probably don't teach you that in schools, I'd like to take you through different types of librarians that exist. I hope you're paying attention, Mr. Fink and Mr. Cranor. This is for your benefit as much as it is anyone else's. Pfft, like they're ever going to watch this. Oh my god! What if they do watch this though? You know, it'd be under duress for some vague yet menacing government agency, but what if they did watch this? So, as I was saying, apart from the obvious, there are many types of librarian. The obvious ones being orangutans and mentors to vampire slayers. Actually, I do work with a librarian called Giles from time to time, but he's never seen an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so he gets both annoyed and confused when I start pestering him about the Hellmouth. A common type of librarian is known as the nervous librarian. These librarians tend to be quiet. They can mumble and stumble and fumble over their words, especially when talking to customers. They fear youths, and they usually wear sweater vests. They're the stereotypical librarian. They know the Dewey Decimal System off by heart, and they have a really small orgasm every time they see or smell a really old, tatty, leather-bound book. The same thing happens to them if they ever go into a bookshop or library that isn't theirs. Quite fun to watch, actually. Actually, that sounds sick. It's not fun to watch. The female version of the nervous librarian can often be found with glasses on bits of string hanging around their necks. Next, you've got fat librarians, and they come in two different types. I almost said that they come in all shapes and sizes, but then I realised a boulder is a boulder. You get the lazy fat ones, and whilst they can be really annoying, they're useful for unloading unwanted tasks onto them, especially if you twist them into a way that it makes them feel important. The second type is the chatty fatty. Rhyming. Now these are a beast. In both size and, well, you know, in general existence. Chatty fatties use talking as a means to avoid doing actual work, and more often than not they can be found propping up a counter or sitting at a desk. On the rare occasions that a chatty fatty does wander out onto the library floor, they'll usually take 1 or 2 books with them, and they'll act as if they're going to go shelve these books. But don't be fooled, because it's just a disguise. They literally carry these books around with them and then head in the general direction of where they need to be shelved, all the time looking for a member of the public that can go and latch onto to have a short natter, give or take 25 minutes. And if you're ever cornered by a chatty fatty, sure, you can try and get away from them, but even though they're big, they will shuffle after you. To be honest, your best bet would be to drop bits of cake and biscuit as you make your leave. It's the only way to stop the wittering. Next, we have the geek. Typically male, geeky librarians spend most of their time eyeing up the younger female customers that come into the library, and they're absolutely convinced that talking about the latest geeky trends can be classed as an aphrodisiac. And not surprisingly, he never succeeds. As a result, he becomes bitter, and over time he inflates himself with self-hatred and pessimism, and eventually that leads to a feeling of, do you know what? Fuck it. I only work in the library. I don't care anymore. Do what you want. Go ahead and roll up that Jessica Player novel and smoke it. By the way, Deadpool's cool. Next, we have what I like to refer to as the Ghostbuster Librarian. We've all seen Ghostbusters and we all know the ghost I'm talking about. It's the very beginning of the film and they go down there and there's a ghost of a librarian. She's a little old lady and she's very quiet and she's very docile and she's pretty much part of the scenery until they piss her off. And then she snaps, and she will kill you. To her, hours and hours of paperwork and incident reports mean nothing. She will happily fill them out in triplicate whilst bathing in your blood. It's also worth mentioning that other librarians fear the Ghostbuster Librarian, so much so that they tend to treat her as the alpha of the pack. Did I mention the librarians come in packs? Yeah, they come in packs. So feared is she that when she explodes, people literally shit themselves. That is until they're sure that her outburst isn't aimed at them, and in which case they can then just sit back and enjoy the show. You can also get librarians that don't like to read. It's not that they dislike books, they respect them perfectly enough, but it's just that they don't find enjoyment from reading them as much as everyone else does. And for a librarian, that is pretty bizarre, and for that reason they are quite a rare breed. And finally, you get the slightly creepy and pervy librarian, the one that makes everyone else feel really uncomfortable, the one that likes to flirt with all the old ladies so that you get some extra biscuits at Christmas. The one called Craig? Whoever wrote that can go fuck themselves. It's slanderous lies, all of it. I don't have a clue how I'm shouting that. I mean, I wrote the script. I know. I've got it in my hands right here. Look. What the hell? King City... That's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be my script. Thanks a lot, Night Vale. I was about to go on a little talk about having the nice, friendly, sociable librarian who's always got a smile on his face. The one that everyone likes to talk to when they come on their little visit. But now I've got to go on some mind-bending journey involving plastic pink flamingos and houses that have thoughts of their own. And thanks to you, I'm now an angry librarian. That's right. Have it your own way. Be happy. You've ruined my video. How dare you? I'm the angry librarian and Night Vale can go King City itself. I mean, it can go fuck itself. It can just go fuck itself.